Hello, welcome back to the Beat the Banks podcast. I'm Wade Borth, your host today, and I have Kyle Fuller with me, and we're going to talk about financial awareness. What does that mean to people, and really what that is? And so when people say financial awareness, eyes will glaze over, and it'll be pretty interesting how they react to that a lot of times, Kyle. But this is going back to the foundational conversations we have with all our clients. All our wealth strategists are having the same exact conversation because it's so important. It's so fundamental because it's the base of what you're going to do. It's the base of everything you're going to build, if you can think of that pyramid. So I'll let you, obviously the people that listen to this podcast know you, they know me, they know kind of what our value system is. It was like, we want people to be their maximum potential. That's what we want. We want this abundance in all 5 areas. We believe in it. That's who our people are. They're going to be wanting that. They want abundance in their family, but they also want abundance in their business. And they want abundance in their financial area, in religion, in their community. Those are things that they want to be as full in abundance as they can possibly be. And it really comes back down to the financials that allow us to do most of these things. If we want to be giving to our charities at the highest rate we possibly can do it, we got to make sure that we're financially set to make that happen. So it's about finding efficiencies and being really super efficient with our dollars. But it all starts with what's between our ears, about this little gap between our ears and this gray matter called our brain, because that's where it starts. I'll let you roll from there.
Yeah, Wade, I think, most people just naturally want a better life, right? Yeah. We would call that, they want more abundance in all areas of life. And if people are striving for that, it's great. I think if anytime you want to get to a destination or you have a goal, you need 2 places. You need to know exactly where you're at, and you need to know exactly where you want to go. Then it would be very advantageous to have a device like a GPS that'll plot the exact course on how to get there with the least amount of hassle, avoiding any nonsense along the way. And so we love a good GPS, do we not? If we were going to go from here, if I was going to drive to North Dakota, it would take me a lot longer without a GPS. I mean, a lot longer, would it not?
It would. It's funny. I'm laughing because it's you're using the word GPS. My terminology, maybe it's just because of our age difference. I'm using a roadmap, right? I'm using the old foldable. That's what's coming to my mind. I'm like, we have a roadmap, but it's the same thing. It's just what tool are we using to get somewhere, right? That's the question.
Absolutely. So having that awareness financially is also incredibly important. And this is why those of you that have seen our wealth conversations, our wealth pyramid, at the foundation level, there's education, awareness, and a savings strategy. And that's really where Factum specializes, is in the foundational education around money. So we are not financial advisors. I don't want to tell people how to invest their money. We want to provide them with the education, the awareness, and a strong savings strategy built around the infinite banking concept that lays the perfect foundation to protect and accelerate everything they want to do going forward. Yeah. Now, once you have that foundation built, you've got some awareness. We have our wealth scorecard, which is a very popular tool in the Factum toolbox right now that many of our agents obviously like, but all of our clients have access to it as well. So a lot of times when people are getting started in the money game, Wade, they start to realize how much they don't know. I mean, that's truer for me than it ever has been. Some of these wealth building groups I'm in now that we're speaking at, and we go and educate on infinite banking. A lot of these groups are very high profile investing rooms. And the more that I learn about money, the more I realize how much I don't know about money. I mean, there's so many things you can go do with trusts and estate plans and advanced tax strategies. The world is so big and so broad when it comes to money, which is why, number one, you're going to need a team on your side, but you're also going to need the roadmap for savings, life insurance, property and casualty insurance, debt, investing strategies, asset protection. You're going to need the roadmap with pinpointed questions that you can take to a professional to speed up the process for you. So imagine having a template, Wade, that you could start just ticking off boxes of, I've got that down. I understand this. We're doing that. Okay, I am now week and I need to understand estate planning. I'm scoring a 0 out of 8 on the estate planning questionnaire. Well, the questions that we've curated here allow you to go into an estate planning attorney's office and say, I need to know these 8 questions. Teach me this. Okay. I mean, was your journey different than that when you were getting started, Wade?
Oh, it was all trial and error. It was never laid out. And here's the biggest thing that I find. This is what I love about our wealth scorecard and how we've implemented this and what we've learned is, again, it's about awareness, right? This section is about financial awareness. You first have to become aware of what's around you. You have to understand what the dangers are, because if you don't know, that's the part that's going to kill you. That's the part that's going to destroy your wealth. Probably the most important thing about the wealth scorecard is it gives us that ability to take action. And so the action is probably the biggest thing. It's like, hey, I understand this, but I'm not doing anything about it right now. But it gives you the ability to rank, okay, I want to take care of this first, I want to take care of this first, or maybe we're doing them all at the same time, but it gives you that ability, that scorecard to take action. You're taking it, and again, these are not our lanes, right? Trust, taxes, property, these are not our lanes. So the question is, why are we doing this, Kyle? Why, when somebody says, hey, that's all great, but why are you so concerned about all this other stuff? What do you answer them? What do you tell them?
Well, part of it is that's just who we are as a culture. We're here to help individuals focus on success. And we understand that is more than just an infinite banking conversation. We love what we do, and we only do what we do. We specialize in this very intentionally. But we understand there's other key components to wealth building that you will have to have in your journey. And that includes us, right? And so having that roadmap and that intentionality really helps our clients focus on success. And it's why they're getting such tremendous results. Now, one of the reasons why I love our wealth scorecard is because it's digital. You can save it in your Google Share Drive or wherever you keep your stuff with your net worth tracker, your cash flow statements, whatever you have. It's digital. Most of the time, if you have a physical copy like this, it gets tossed in the drawer and it's gone forever. But our wealth strategists are using this for annual reviews with all of our clients. So when we started working with each other, last year, Wade, and maybe you scored a 25 out of 115 on the wealth scorecard. Now you might think, holy cow, 115 questions. How are we going to get through this? It's a process. This is a journey, right? So we hit a 25 on your first year, and then we sit down and do an annual review for next year, and we say, all right, Wade, where's your pain now? Well, I'm getting crushed by taxes. Well, let's look at your wealth scorecard. Do we know anything about taxes? No. No one teaches us stuff. Okay, let's get you talking to some of our trusted partners that understand IBC, that we know, like, and trust. By the way, all you have to do is go in there and make sure you understand these 10 questions on the tax part. If you can understand those, you're going to be much further ahead than most people in the money game. Okay, great. There's the assignment. Go take action. Fill in the wealth scorecard. Next year you come back, we're going to go from 50 to 60, from 70 to 90, whatever it is. But 3 to 5 years of a process like that, you're going to have those key components so dialed in that you are just sleeping well at night with so much confidence because you have a good understanding of all those things. More importantly, you've implemented them. No one is saying they have to be an expert at IBC like we are. That's why you have a team, right? And we've always loved the phrase, freedom is the result of leverage. So people need to be leveraging a wealth building team, but it really speeds up the process to have the right questions to ask those professionals so they can actually be more effective with you.
Yeah, just a great example of, again, you would think I've been in the insurance business for 35 years. You think I would know a lot more about property and casualty than I do, but I don't, because that's not my lane. I understand it. When I answer some of those questions, I'm like, yeah, I know about that. Yeah, I know about that. But when I took this to my property and casualty guy, he was so excited because he goes, oh, I'm going to build off that because here's some additional questions for you. And what it did, it created a better rapport between he and I. And so now, we're scoring much higher than even what we started. We started with the roadmap. So it allows us to have a deeper conversation. But now when I go back to him to do a review, he always pulls that out because it's digital. He's like, here's what you scored. Hey, you're doing really well. and he adds this piece or this piece, or let's take an action in here, let's change this up. It gives it to a talking point. Going back to doing some of our estate plan with Juan, it's like, okay, we started here, let's add this piece, or do you want to address this? No, let's wait till next year because we want to get this done first. It gives us a little bit of purpose and cause to what we're going to be doing, right? So it's like, we're not just doing it willy-nilly. Now we have a plan for all these little pieces, and it breaks it down to very usable pieces. And so as I say that, I think back to one of our first wealth seminars that you put on, and this was the topic of conversation. And this was probably the best place to learn this and see this, because we were looking at it and we were hearing people talk about all these different pieces. So I'm just going to throw out this as a plug. If you want to hear or see more about this or have a conversation, attend one of our wealth seminars, because we're always addressing one of these areas in our wealth seminars. And I think that's real important, is like, as you're looking at this and say, how do I get this? How do I achieve this? Kyle, what would you say if somebody was asking about that on the street?
How to achieve which part?
Just being able to having access to this and finding somebody that knows what they're doing with this wealth scorecard.
I mean, there is a huge cost of acquisition for that wealth scorecard. I'll just give you an example just with CPAs and tax strategists. I've been through 3 or 4 CPAs and tax strategy teams in the last 5 years. Some of them were upwards of $10,000 to just initially onboard before even talking to someone, who then charged a fee to consult on taxes and then file everything. That one partnership that it took us 5 years to find, probably in the neighborhood of 50 grand, I'll just say, to find that partnership. So how many other people are going to have a cost of acquisition like that for the right estate planning team, tax strategist, relationship-based property and casualty insurance team, the right specialist with infinite banking? Like, I cannot tell you, Wade, how many prospects that come across our table who already have insurance. And we say, who's your agent? They say, I have no clue. I was sold this policy 3 to 5 years ago. I don't know. That is not the way we do business here at Factum. We take our partnerships, our quality of service, it's at a very high level. Our standards are high. So naturally, our partners are in that realm too. They have to be vetted, tested, tried. And so you're getting that entire value proposition built into this wealth scorecard, with not only the relationships, but also all the questions to go ask them. Because when you go into an attorney's office for your estate plan and they say, hey, there's about 80 different types of trusts. And you're like, well, which one do I get? Well, it depends. And then they give you this huge, long presentation. So I'm like, you have to have an initial conversation that puts the power back in your seat. You go in there and you say, these are what my goals are, because you already know them. These are the assets we have. This is what I'm trying to accomplish. I need to understand, do I have all these elements in this type of trust? If you bring that to an estate planner, that takes that conversation down from like 80 trusts to probably like 5 to 10. And then from there, you can select the one that's actually appropriate for your goals. Now, how does that save you money? Imagine buying the wrong type of trust and entity structure and then having to redo everything because you realize it wasn't set up for what you wanted to do anyways. It's the same conversation we have with insurance. So the awareness part of this will literally save you hundreds of thousands of dollars throughout your life by not having to find these individuals and getting things set up properly the first time, not the second or third, fourth or fifth, like it was for me when it came to taxes.
Yeah. And I think it goes back to one of our founding principles is intentional growth, right? If you're intentional about where you're headed, again, you never drift to a desired location. That's one of the things we hear all the time. We don't drift to a desired location. And by having this conversation with you, I, or one of our wealth strategists, people will start to understand, okay, I see where I want to go. And now all I have to do is engage the right person to do the right thing for me, because now I'm trying to get to a certain point. So this idea of intentional growth was really where this wealth scorecard sprung out of, is like, how do we become a lot more intentional in our financial lives in all realms? Because again, if I go to a tax attorney and he's got to spend 2 hours with me just to figure out what I want to do or where I want to go, well, it's expensive to begin with, and it's also very frustrating from the client standpoint, because again, it becomes a little overwhelming, so they throw up their hands and they walk away. So that's one of the big things that I see with the wealth scorecard, is it helps us be a lot more intentional about where we're headed. Now, there are certain areas that we specialize in on that wealth scorecard. That's where we understand what our lane is. We want to be the best at it, and so and we are. We're professionals in that area, and that's the IBC portion of that, or the savings conversations. And so there are a lot of different areas, and I would just encourage you to, there's a lot of resources as well that you can do, but go back, find a wealth strategist from Factum, and have them show you the power of this wealth scorecard.
Yeah, I think that would be the number one thing to go do is make sure you're working directly with someone who also knows and understands that can guide you through it. And I will say this too, Wade, as good as the wealth scorecard is, it's amazing content. It really is tremendously valuable. Like, it's good when your own people want it inside your agency. My own family wanted it and has loved it. That's when it's good. And so you can have a lot of things in business. You can have great content, great compensation, but what really makes a company unique is the community. So you can have a wonderful wealth scorecard, great. But what enhances the scorecard is the Factum community here. So you don't have to wait every year to have an annual review with your wealth strategist, because we have IBC courses that we're adding video content to almost weekly, very specialized 10 to 15 minute videos on very specific topics that are meant to help educate and empower you. We also teach monthly deep dive classes to our entire database and community. Those are free to attend, by the way. They're online, where we cover a lot of these topics within the wealth scorecard naturally. So you can tune into an hour-long training once a month and upgrade your wealth scorecard, learn more about these topics. And then you already referenced it, but our wealth seminars, a day and a half. If you want to go really deep and get the meat and potatoes and really accelerate your results, you've got to put in more time, focus time, to learn that stuff. So this upcoming wealth seminar that we're doing in April of 2024 is going to have a heavy 2-hour emphasis on estate planning. The one previous to that, we did a big emphasis on taxes. So the more you come around this conversation and be tied into our community, the easier, faster, and more profitable it will be for consumers, on their wealth building journey. So you don't have to wait 3 to 5 years to complete those scorecards. We have people that do it in 6 months because they're so bought in on this. Now, that's going to change depending on the individual's goals and intensity, right? But having the right community that'll keep you plugged into this stuff, I would say, is a make it or break it thing. You've got to have accountability on this journey. Otherwise, it's too easy to get distracted and just not take it seriously.
Yeah. And the community isn't just the tax professional or the estate planner or even your wealth strategist here at Factum. When you come to these wealth seminars, part of that community of all the other people that are doing the same thing that you're doing, that's the beauty of it. It's like people that are either the same place in their journey, ahead of your journey, or behind your journey. It creates a sense of community, like, oh, I did this last year and this is what I found. And I mean, when you sit and listen to those conversations around those tables of those wealth seminars, man, it's incredible, the conversations that are happening. And that's the beauty of live events when you get to, again, I call it a community because that's what it becomes. It's like, now we're starting to see people, hey, are you going to this, are you going to the Factum Wealth Seminar this spring or this fall? Because they're planning to see these people they've met last year at this event. Yeah. Because now they want to see where, hey, what did you implement or what did you do? These are all part of a real healthy, growing community. Because it doesn't always have to be those professionals. It can also be the people that are on the journey that you're taking as well. So I just throw that out there as like, that creates the community that we're looking for. And it excites me when I get down there because you've seen the same people now 2, 3, 4 times. And you knew where they're at before, and now you see where they're at today. It's like, holy smokes, they've come a long ways.
The community is the most important part. It's about connections. It's about people. It's about relationships. And the best ideas almost never come from the presenters on the stage. They always come from someone sitting at a table with 6 other people, and they're sharing their experience about how they took that concept and they implemented it in their own life. That to me is always the most valuable thing. And you have to experience that. You have to be in the room when it's happening. Otherwise, it means much less. And so that's why you want to put yourself in those rooms, attend those seminars, and really accelerate your results.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So as I see it, you typically have two options. You have the option to go do it on your own, go learn it on your own, go make your own mistakes, skin your own knees, and just do it on your own, which a lot of people take that path, but they quickly learn that, hey, I need help. So the other option you have is you're going to raise your hand. You're going to say, hey, I need some help in this. Who can I engage with that's professional, knows what their lane is, and can help me achieve all these different things? And so as I look at that, that second one is, look at our Factum Wealth strategies. These people are those people that if you raise your hand, they're going to find, what is it you want to accomplish? They want abundance just as much for you as for themselves. They want abundance in all these different areas that we talk about, because it's a journey that's much better done together than it is, on your own. So again, take a look at that. Take a look at the content that we have out there. I mean, we have tremendous content that you can learn from and absorb and grow with. And these are the things. This is just the starting point. This is the fun part. This is the starting point. Lay out your vision, find out what you want to do, and then start hammering away. And then when you start engaging with that, your growth is going to be exponential. And this is hard for us to explain, right? Because it's hard for us, I used this example before, Kyle. Sometimes it's hard for us to explain to a blind person what the color blue looks like.
Right.
So you can actually experience what that means. It's hard to explain.
Yeah. Well said, Wade. I cannot agree. Cannot agree more.
So if somebody's listening to this, Kyle, and they go, man, I'm excited about this, I would love to be part of that community, what do I do next?
Go to our website, factumfinancial.com. Click on the contact us, send us a message. Tell us what you liked about either a video you saw, the podcast you listened to, and someone from our team will reach out and start getting you some of these tools and resources and plugged into our systems, processes, and education.
Yeah. And if you like the idea of coming to a wealth seminar, ask them about it. They have tickets that they can get you there. This is a small investment. You will walk away with 10 times the value that you ever spend going to one of these things. And we just know that. We've seen that happen time and time and time again from those people that have attended in the past. And then ask them what a wealth scorecard looks like. How are they using it? We believe in authentic leadership. So I'll show you how I've incorporated in my conversations with my people and my professionals that I have, my attorney and my property and casualty, my health insurance, my long-term care specialist. These are all people that we have relationships with if you don't have a relationship with. So again, engage with them, ask them these questions, and they'll definitely help you grow and reach that financial vision that you want to achieve in your family. So this is your roadmap. All right, Kyle, thank you so much for this. This is exciting. I'm excited to have people reach out to us. I'm excited to empower people to become the highest version of themselves and to find that abundance that they're looking for in all areas of life. So again, thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Wade.